RBR, let's go.
Alright, so this 73 International Scout here is nearing completion. We got the stereo almost all hooked up. We got all the speakers, the subwoofer in, the head unit's going in last. All the wires come up and meet to that. And we're wiring everything underneath, so all the wires are hidden. There's no carpet in this Scout to hide wires. So everything's got to be routed around the frame, along the body underneath. It's all got to be tied up tight. If he decides to go four-wheeling down on the beach, none of the wires are going to ever get caught on anything or collect dirt or mud. It all gets wire protectors on it. So on the interior here, we got the head unit's going to come out of this hole here. We got all the speakers wired up. We put fancy wires on the door hinges because these doors didn't have any wires going into the doors at all. So we had to make a little custom wiring routage going through the door hinge. The speakers, we got the brand new dash pad that's going to go on. It's just about done. It's got these nice seats in. We got the roll bar in and the secret hidden sub under the back seat that you can barely see. But if you kick the seat up, you can get a little look at it. It's a hidden kicker that's only about 3 inches tall. And it puts out a lot of bass. It's right underneath the center here. We got the speakers and the quarter panels here also. Dropped in some 6x9s. It's gonna sound great. This thing's gonna be cranking.
So I had to weld on a fitting for the return for the new EFI setup from Edelbrock. Since there was 2 gas tanks, this is the second gas tank. And plumbing, that's about it. We just welded in where we wanted to, and then we put our A&N fittings on it. Trim black, just to clean it up, make it nice. I had the part out anyway, I might as well paint it. We have 2 gas tanks. With the EFI setup, we gotta run the sump return line back to both. So that way, whichever gas tank he picks, it'll drip back into that one. Pretty much right here, at this point, at this gas tank. And then I have my lines running to the switch pump that we put into it. I just have them plumbed down for now, and then I'll go back up and I'll do those lines and finish up the fuel system. Just those little inconveniences. We had to modify the existing exhaust to fit with the new transmission, stuff like that. That was pretty much the hardest part. Ron wanted the electrical under the hood all nice, cleaned up, no more electrical tape. He wanted that done properly. And the owner himself wanted the engine to look stock looking. So we're putting in an original air cleaner and hiding everything we did. So it looks stock. Say hello later.
Sorry, Mike, he asked me a question. I charged him $1.
Flip-flop that and you have the truth. Every time he asks me a question, he owes me $1. He asks me a lot of questions. I answer everybody's questions. That's my spot. That's my position, dude. I'm a head mechanic, man. Gotta make sure everyone knows what they're doing. A little chaotic. Make sure everything gets done right. Make sure everyone has what they need to do their job, and then I can get back to doing what I'm doing. See you next Sunday.
Welcome back to the RBR Detail Garage. Today we have a 1984 Jeep Comanche, badass truck. Today we're gonna be basically nipping and polishing, make sure that the paint is gonna have a nice final finish before it leaves. Right now I'm using a 2000 sanding pad, and then I'm gonna hit it with 2500 and 3000 just to make sure everything is nice and even and give it a nice even shine out. I've already done the fender, did the hood, did the back door, and I'm gonna just do a final wet sand for the 3000 stage process and make sure everything is nice and finished and smooth on its way out. We got a black Monster liner done by the pros here at RBR. Big E probably helped finish that. Big props to him. And then we got silver gray. Beautiful color on the outside. So every time a car comes to the detail side, I picture myself as being the customer. So I start off with trying to picture how I would like to feel when this car is going to come to me. So basically I look for any sort of like small imperfection. What you basically need to find is one imperfection, and by you finding that one imperfection, it's going to lead you to the others. After that, I basically figure out how many coats of clear is on the car, so that's going to give me enough room to really know how much I'm going to sand. Today we know that this one has about 3 coats of clear on it, so I can go anywhere from 1500 all the way up to 3000 without really creating too much of a damage. At the end of the day, we want to keep enough clear coat on here. It lasts a good while out there in the streets. And then I'm going to smooth everything out with 3000, maybe 2500, and then give it a nice heavy compound, as well as give it a polish and a glaze right before it leaves. Well, hopefully next time you guys see me, this car will be on the street doing its thing. Cheap Comanche, done by the best, RBR Garage. Check it out.
Welcome back to RVR's vlog of the week. Iggy doing a little paint work again. We have this 07 Corvette Atomic Orange that we're doing. Front rear bumpers, the mirrors are done. Just doing the bumpers and the mud flaps in here. We got it dialed in pretty well, so we'll finish painting it. We'll get that on the car and get it delivered this week. It's a beautiful color. I love the color. Anybody who paints and knows this color knows it's a pain in the ass.
In the restoration process, what we do is we start ordering parts and doing our little details and making sure we have everything we need before we go and start a project, but there's always a couple of things that you're missing. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm just getting a couple of nuts and bolts and everything. With these two restorations that I'm about to show you, we use the fax books from Chevrolet and different authors and everything. But here is a 1967 327 350 horsepower, which we had sent out, and we had it all machined and everything, and now I'm dressing the motor. And once it's all complete, if you take a look in the front here, all the different finishes and cadmium and orange with the factory markings. Carburetor has been all polished and dichromite and everything else. It's all set and ready to be placed into the car. This is the second one. This is a 427 390. We're about ready to start assembling them. There's a lot involved. Over here's a Corvette motor waiting to go into another one of our resto mods. So as you see, we have a lot of things going on at the same time. Just getting ready to deliver the green car that we've been working on for probably over a year. 69 Z28, ready to go home to the new owner. That's it for today. We'll catch you next time.